Thank you for joining us. Everybody says that confidence is the name of the game, that the economy and consumers are not going to start buying and businesses aren't going to start hiring again unless they feel a period of confidence and stability, producing the kind of confidence that's necessary for a hiring binge.
The economy is today stuck behind the power curve. It needs a lot of encouragement. It needs not just something like the jobs bill, but also significant government stimulation in terms of buying power and investment. Otherwise, we're set up for years of extraordinarily low growth in the economy and no real solution to the jobless problem.
But you say significant stimulus. Obviously, this is a political environment where the only real conversation is about cutting. Do you see any expectation or possibility of a climate for more stimulus?
Well, that's a political question, but the current strategy is ludicrous. You have a situation where the private sector sees essentially no growth in demand. The classic solution is to have the government step in and with short-term initiatives help stimulate that demand. If they do it right, they'll invest in income and growth-producing things like highways and bridges and schools, new opportunities for the private sector to go then build businesses. Today, not only is there no demand coming out of the government, but because of the housing crisis, nobody sees any improvement in their own liquidity, so nobody's buying anything.
So this is a pretty dark picture that you're painting. Add to that no confidence from the consumers and businesses sitting on something like $2 trillion worth of profits, which they're not going to spend apparently. Is the president, does he have a material problem with the business community right now?
The real problem is not the business community. The real problem is the Democrats and the Republicans fight for one point or another in a political sphere while the rest of us are waiting for the government to do something concrete and predictable. What business needs is predictable long-term plans. We need to know where is government spending going to be, what are the government programs going to be, and off we go. Business can create enormous numbers of new jobs in America. All we need to see is more demand. What's happening right now is businesses are very well run, they have a lot of cash, they're waiting for more demand. At the moment, business efficiency allows them to grow at 1 or 2%, which is what we're seeing today. They don't have to hire more people. And until we solve that problem, people are going to sit idle, and it's a real tragedy.
But what about the very real problem, and that is many businesses seeing, precisely because of the efficiency of, let's say, online and the new sort of technology, that it is much cheaper to buy a machine to do the job. You don't have to train it, you don't have to pay it wages, rather than hire a person. I mean, this seems to be the structural reality of the economy now.
That's been true for 100 years. It's been true of the industrial era for the last, literally, century. And over again, American ingenuity has meant that people who were displaced were able to find new jobs in these new industries. People who did something manually learn how to operate the machine.
What do you say to a 55-year-old guy who's lost his manufacturing job and just doesn't know where to get back into the economy?
The issue for somebody like that is often the next job is not going to have the same level of salary as the previous job, but it's better than nothing. So from the standpoint of employment, that's what they should be doing. If there were a national compact about how to get this done, if people agree that it's more important to have new jobs than, and perhaps even low-wage jobs, than no job. Remember, a permanently jobless person in our country is a huge cost to us. They start off looking for a job. After 5 years, they're depressed, and after 10 years, their medical bills are much higher. It's better for society to have a full job program and to take the necessary steps to do this. Germany, for example, 3 years ago, when they were having trouble, actually, it's shocking, they actually agreed across the board to labor and wage cuts to make the German economy and German manufacturers globally competitive. They now are benefiting from that, and they have a very, very low unemployment rate. Did you know that in a number of manufacturing industries in America, there are job shortages? These are sophisticated, high-tech manufacturing jobs, and because the people are not properly skilled, they can't get enough of them.
Many others are saying that it's a systemic problem, the American economy. It's changing, and the infrastructure of education and all the rest of it.
I strongly disagree. Americans are extraordinarily creative. The American industrial structure, right, brought us all of the great things that it's done in the last 50 years, including the internet and all the things that you see today. The generation of people coming out of universities that we're hiring are smarter than the best people I've ever worked with in my generation. There's every reason to believe that if the political system could come to a consensus around stability, solving these short-term problems, and get the investments that I'm describing, we can take care of the rest.